Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am your instructor from EduSmart Studio. I hope you all are doing well. Let's begin our today's session. In our previous lectures, we discussed the concept of curriculum and its types. There we learned what a curriculum is and its different forms. Then we studied characteristics of curriculum, which helped us understand the qualities it holds. If you have not studied or watched those lectures, please do so for more clarity and continuity, because each lecture is connected to the next one. And our today's session focuses on elements of curriculum. This is one of the most important topics in curriculum development course. So try to give your full attention to it. Learning objectives. This means at the end of this lecture you will be able to identify basic elements of curriculum, define objectives with examples, elaborate the importance of objectives, explain characteristics of objectives, and you will be able to make objective based on cognitive, affective and psychomotor domain. Before we discuss elements of curriculum, let's first understand what an element means. An element is a basic and important part of a system that make it complete. Let's take the example of a car. A car has elements like engine, wheels, steering and brakes. These elements make the car complete and make it work properly. Similarly, a curriculum is made up of essential elements, and these elements are the basic and important parts or machineries that together make the curriculum complete and function properly. And these elements of curriculum answer for fundamental questions such as why to teach, what to teach, how to teach and how to assess learning. These help in setting realistic and achievable objectives, help in deciding the subject matter, courses and topics. These help in setting appropriate teaching methods and strategies and guide in choosing suitable evaluation techniques and approaches. The elements of curriculum are objectives, subject matter, teaching methods and evaluation. Let's discuss the first element of curriculum, that is objective, means learning objective. Learning objectives are specific, clear and measurable statements that describe what students are expected to learn after a lesson, unit or a course. If you have a textbook with you, open it, then you can see learning objectives at the starting of every unit. In simple words, learning objectives given in each unit explain what students will learn or achieve by the end of the lesson. For example, suppose you are teaching the topic tree. Your objectives may be like this. A student will be able to identify the main parts of a tree such as roots, trunk, branches and leaves. An objective can be make a model of a tree using clay, paper or other materials. As a teacher, you must know your learning objectives. Ask yourself, after teaching this lesson, what will my student be able to do? And always share learning objectives with your students at the starting of the lesson. So, an objective is a clear, specific and measurable statement that describe what students will be able to do at the end of the lesson. Let's understand the objective as root concept. Roots are the foundation of a tree. Roots hold the tree firmly, provide direction and nourishment to the tree. Similarly, objectives provide foundation to curriculum, give clear direction to teaching and learning, and guide teachers and students towards goals. So without strong roots, a tree cannot grow. Likewise, without clear objectives, a curriculum has no direction or focus. That is why learning objectives are considered one of the most important elements of the curriculum. Now let's discuss the importance of learning objectives. Some key importance of learning objectives are: the first one is provide direction. This means objectives clearly provide direction to the teacher what to teach, and students are expected what to learn. So likewise, objectives provide direction to teaching and learning. The second one is focus on specific learning outcomes. This means objectives make learning targeted and purposeful, because each objectives clarify the exact knowledge, skills or attitude that learner should achieve. For example, if the objective is identify part of a tree, the lesson will focus on roots, trunk, branches and leaves. The third one is guide planning of lessons. This means objectives help organizing lessons and activities meaningfully. Teachers can choose content, teaching methods and activities that meet the objective. For example, to teach tree planting, the teacher can plan hands-on activities like plant a sapling. The next one is provide a basis for evaluation. This means objectives help teachers decide how to test students and check if learning goals are achieved. For example, if the objective is demonstrate care by watering the tree, then evaluation can check if students perform the activity correctly. The last importance of learning objective is save time and efforts. This means objectives allow teachers to focus only on important content, avoiding unnecessary material, and likewise teaching become efficient and time gets saved. I hope you have understood the importance of learning objectives. Next comes the characteristics of a good objective. So when developing objectives, educators should ensure they are SMART, which means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time bound. Let's understand the characteristics of objective using SMART technique. The first one is specific. It means objective should clearly state or specify what students will be able to do. For example, students will learn alphabets. This is the first objective. And the second objective is students will identify alphabets from A to K. The first objective is wrong because it does not clearly specify what the student will actually do. And the second one is correct because it clearly specifies that student will identify alphabets from A to K. Simply, it clearly states the goal or the target, that what student will be able to do at the end of the class. I hope this is clear, that why objective should be specific. The next one is measurable objectives. Measurable means objective should be checked or tested. For example, first objective is student will understand water cycle. And the second objective is student will explain the stages of the water cycle in correct sequence. So the first one is wrong because understand cannot be measured or tested, but the word explain can be measured. The third one is achievable. The objective should be achievable. This means objective should be realistic and possible for the student to do or complete. For example, first objective is grade 5 students will write a 20-page research report in 30 minutes. And the second one is grade 5 students will write one paragraph summary of the lesson. So the first one is unrealistic and cannot be achieved according to the student's age and available time. Next one is relevant. This means objective should directly relate to the lesson. For example, The first objective is, in a math lesson, students will memorize a poem. And the second one is, in a math lesson, students will solve 10 multiplication problems. So the first one is wrong because it does not relate to the lesson content. Time bound. Time bound means objective should clearly specify when it will be completed or achieved. For example, the first objective is students will complete the worksheet, and the second one is students will complete the worksheet within 30 minutes. So the first one is incomplete because it does not mention a time limit. In short, objective should be SMART because SMART objectives ensure lesson is focused and outcomes are achievable. I hope you have understood the characteristics of objective using SMART technique, that why objective should be SMART. Next comes selection of objectives. According to Bloom's taxonomy, educational objectives are divided into 3 domains, such as cognitive, affective and psychomotor domain. So while selecting objectives, educators should include objectives from all 3 domains for complete learning because education aims at total personality development. Selection of objective based on cognitive domain. The cognitive domain is related to thinking. It develops students' thinking and reasoning skills, including remembering, understanding, and explaining the ideas or concept. In simple words, it deals with mental abilities. For example, objectives based on cognitive domain will be like this. Students will be able to define a tree. Students will be able to explain the importance of trees in daily life. In simple words, objectives of this domain focuses on describing, identifying and explaining the concept or idea. I hope this is clear. Objective based on affective domain. The affective domain is related to feelings, attitudes, values and emotions. It develops students' interest, appreciation and positive attitudes. Objective based on affective domain will be like this. For example, students will participate willingly in tree plantation activities. The next one is student will demonstrate a caring attitude by watering the plant. In simple words, objectives of this domain focuses on values like interest, appreciation and positive attitudes. Selection of objectives based on psychomotor domain. The psychomotor domain is related to physical skills and actions. It develops students' ability to perform the task using hands and body movements. In simple words, it deals with practical skills. And objectives based on psychomotor domain will be like this. For example, students will draw and label the parts of a tree. And students will create or make a model of a tree using clay and paper. In simple words, objectives of this domain focuses on hands-on activities or practical skills. Conclusion. According to Bloom's taxonomy, learning objectives should be developed using all 3 domains. For example, cognitive, affective and psychomotor. Because real learning happens when students not only understand the concept but also develop positive attitudes and values and apply their knowledge through action or skills. So developing objectives only based on cognitive domain makes learning incomplete and ineffective. That is why educators should not focus only on cognitive domain while developing objectives. This is your assignment. That is all for today's lecture. Please share your feedback in the comment section and let me know whether today's lecture improved your understanding or not. If you have found this lecture useful and helpful, please like the video and subscribe the channel for more informative lectures. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.